Hi guys, my name is Kel, and if you didn't see last week I put up my first introduction video here because I am Rachel's new co-host on Thursdays. So the question that Rachel and I have chosen to look at this week is, how can I avoid counting calories and weighing myself several times a day? Now, as you can see, those 2 points highlighted there, counting calories and weighing myself several times a day, they're two of the key factors of your eating disorder. They're probably the two most obsessive factors of your eating disorder as well. So I think there is two ways to do this, really, and that's just my opinion. Maybe Rachel's going to have different suggestions, but I can see two ways to do this. And one is to gradually get over these things, bit by bit, lessening things. I'll explain this a bit better in a minute. And the other is to basically completely go cold turkey, to stop calorie counting and to stop weighing just straight away like that. Now, obviously this is going to be dependent on what you think you can cope with, because to suddenly stop calorie counting or stop weighing yourself is going to fill you with a lot of anxiety, and it is going to be difficult. However, that's probably going to be quicker than reducing it slowly. So if we look at calorie counting for a start, and I'll talk a little bit about how I stopped calorie counting. Now, to start with, when I started recovery, I had a dietitian. My dietitian set up for me a set amount of calories that I needed to eat per day. Now, I could still calorie count that because I was needing to eat a certain amount of calories a day, and I was at home, I wasn't inpatient at the time. So it was really okay for me still at that point to be counting, as long as I didn't let counting interfere with me getting the amount of calories and nutrition that I needed, because I needed a certain amount. So what I had to do is I had to put my trust in the dietitian and sort of say, I'm going to let myself count these, but counting isn't going to affect how much I'm eating. I am just going to do what she's telling me to do. And that really did actually help me, that I had somebody else to hand over that sort of responsibility to, and I just had to trust her that what she was saying was accurate. And so I did continue to calorie count for some time. Now, once I didn't necessarily need the dietitian so much anymore, and I guess I wanted the next step of recovery myself, I did stop calorie counting. How I personally did this was, I started eating high calorie foods that I was scared of eating, and I would eat those in my meal plan knowing that I'd possibly be eating over the amount of calories I necessarily needed, because it is hard, because you do already just, you know all the calories off the top of your head. And so when I was eating these high calorie things that I was, worried about having, because when you're calorie counting it is difficult, it enabled me to see that having these higher calorie things didn't necessarily affect my weight. So seeing that slowly showed me that I didn't need to calorie count. It didn't really make a difference, because I was at the point where I wanted to recover. I think that's really important. You need to want to recover. You can't just say, oh, I don't want to calorie count anymore. You need to want to recover. So, and I suppose the other way of doing the calorie counting would be to do it in a slightly different way, and it would be to let yourself know the calories and things without totaling them up at the end of the day. And then maybe eat one of your meals without knowing what the calories are in it. Eat lunch out, you wouldn't know the calories. Or ask your mum or your sister or your partner to bring you home something that you don't know the calories in. And I think that's a good way, because as you learn that the calories really aren't that important. What's important is nourishing your body properly. So hopefully that answered that part of the question. Now, to weighing yourself several times a day, how did I stop doing this? I guess I kind of did this in a similar way. I did weigh myself because I obviously, as I said, was not impatient the last time I weight restored. So I did need to monitor my weight, and I was also at the clinic and they were monitoring my weight as well, and at that point it was important to monitor my weight. But I would gradually limit myself to weighing myself less frequently. At first it was, okay, I'm only going to let myself weigh once a day, and then it was every other day, and then it was only twice a week, and then it was only once a week. And I found that by the time I was only weighing once, twice a week, I did actually forget, and that was a fabulous feeling when you realise I actually didn't weigh myself, and actually didn't think about weighing myself. So I guess gradually is the way that I did that. But again, you could also totally stop, and that would fill you with a lot of anxiety, I imagine. But you could just throw out the scale. That really is an option. You've probably seen people on YouTube smash up their scales. That could be great. I think that would be quite therapeutic. So there are a couple of options. I think what's really important here is accountability. You need to be accountable to yourself. You can't rely on somebody else to make you do these things, because we all know that if you say to somebody, don't let me weigh myself, the second they're out of the door you're going to want to do it anyway, and it's not really going to work like that. And I also found what was important was rewarding myself when I did well. For example, once I got down to only weighing myself once a week, I went and got my nails done. I love my nails. So I went and got my nails done, or whatever works for you. And at the point I am now, I don't count calories and I don't weigh myself. Occasionally the thought still niggles, and I would think, I ate a bit much this week, or I didn't eat much this week. When I say much, I still eat every single day, and I eat 3 meals a day and everything. But you do still get the niggle and want to check, and it's important just to remind yourself, how important is this? What does my weight mean? What do the calories mean? That's really important. So hopefully I've given you some food for thought, and hopefully I've answered the question a little bit. If I haven't, whoever the anonymous person was that asked the question, do feel free to message either the Freedom Fighters channel or my personal channel, which is LilKel86, and I'll try and rectify anything that I didn't quite answer. Alright, take care guys. Bye.